So what we have here is a very old example of a Bridezita. Now, I bought this actually mainly for the foam cushion, which I've chucked onto that one because that's in slightly better condition. Does have a little bit of a wear mark there and some patches and stuff. But this one here, still in reasonable condition, but obviously that part there. Now, it wasn't always like this. The foam here had actually completely worn away. So what I've done is I've trimmed off some of the not great stuff there and taken a big chunk out of this, an old memory foam pillow. So that's now been in there and it follows the contour pretty well, all things considered. So I've also drawn on there where the cloth finishes. So plan is, so as you can see, it's got a rail or mount at least on the bottom. Plan is to at least get this somewhat respectable to go in the car, because I kind of think having matching seats in there would be really cool, especially these two. So got a bit of a plan. Yeah. Now the thing is with these seats, no one, as far as I can tell, actually make a fresh cover for them anymore. They are an old seat, but there are so many out there in shit condition that I kind of wish someone would, because you're taking these seats that are sort of $300 in crap condition, you throw a fresh cover on them, you know, they're still good. The foam can be replaced pretty easily, so I kind of hope someone, a company out there, is going to give it a go. But for now, we need to find somewhere in between. Don't really want to throw them out. They're a good seat. But yeah, no covers made. So, right, let's have a look at a solution. And here's the solution. This is going to be a bit of a gamble, but hey, kind of got nothing to lose at this point. These are suede adhesive patches. Now, hard to sort of tell if it's in the plastic, and I'll grab one out soon, but they're a reasonable size, probably, yeah, I think they're supposed to be 30 centimeters by 20 centimeters. So, and the color is obviously black as opposed to a very faded black here, but one moment, doing this one-handed, a couple of those patches might actually work. I don't know, maybe? Let's see. But before we get into that, it's gonna need a clean. Sadly, anything that does get kept in here is going to not probably end up in the greatest condition. Yes, it is a what is essentially just a closed-in farm shed with a concrete floor. So we do get a fair share of cobwebs and animals going through here, not to mention the cat. So yeah, we'll give her a good clean up and see what these patches can do. Okay, so first pass, it seems all good, but man, getting some of these cat hairs off is no joke. So I'm going to try something else here. Got the cushion here. Just going to see. I just did that corner there. That's not bad, I'll take that. Right, I'll do the rest of this and see how it goes. Okay, so that works pretty amazing. Like, I don't think this has ever had that little amount of cat hair on it. So, yep, that's a win. Time to do the rest of it now. Right, well, I think that was an absolute win as far as cleaning. Duct tape. So, looping that around and then just going and patting and getting rid of all the cat hair. What an absolute win. So, now I'm kind of primed to be able to get this sticker piece down and see how we go. Fingers crossed, guys. Let's see if we can bring this thing back to life. Alright, so I'm kind of debating with this sheet. Do I go all the way around to the edge there and then all the way down to the crease, or do I just patch what kind of needs to be covered, like just around there, and then use sort of this edge here? And I guess my main thing is like just this edge then getting picked up. I do have some adhesive spray up there on the wall that I can use to sort of help sticky the area if need be. And to be honest, I probably should actually throw a little bit along here and just sort of stick the remnants back up before I get started on this. But put it this way, I've got 4 of these sheets, so if I screw up the first one, I can got a little bit of wiggle room on fixing this. So, right, let's get it prepped. New day. Yeah, lots happened since I sort of started this. So we're jumping back into it now. I've got about an hour and a half, 2 hour window in the middle of the day. None of the families are actually, one of the kids are home. The youngest, he's having his nap right now. So now's the time to get some progress made. Jumping back into this. I think where I left off was I was just measuring out, figuring out how I was going to do the patch. So that's what we're going to do now. Going to do trim it up, cut the patch, and do the first layer down. Let's get into it. And this is the next one that's going to need at least a decent clean and a little bit of a fix up on the side bolster there. However, can't really bring myself to disturb her at the moment. She is 17 years old and loves the seat. So what do you do? All right, girl, you're okay. Go back to sleep. Right, so yeah, first bit done. I went to probably go further than I had to. Probably actually could have gone a bit further on this side, but all things considered, I think that is actually going to work really well. Like, it's, I mean, it is definitely possible to peel up the edge if you wanted to. But considering what it was beforehand, that's a huge improvement. Yeah, I guess carry on. I mean, this patch here will be able to do part of that. I mean, the transition sort of starts here, so I'm kind of keen just to maybe actually do 3 pieces. So I'll do a patch here and then do a patch in the middle there, because then I'm not trying to do a transition on the angle. So I'll give that a go. Try and pull that. I did throw a bit of that adhesive spray on it just to sort of hold the stuff on. But hey, so far so good. And then maybe just a little patch for that guy there too. And then get halfway respectable. Cool. Alrighty. I know it's like quite pronounced on camera, but in person it actually blends in a lot better. Considering what it was, like just an absolute gaping hole on that side, to have that now and it looks somewhat semi okay, I am absolutely happy with. Now, last part I'm just going to do is just try and do just a full-on minimalistic patch there. I don't want to try and cover the whole bolster. I'm going to try and get away with a small patch there. And I've had a thought whether I could use, like, this is just an offcut and it's about that big, right? Could I cut a chunk out of that and make a replacement? Maybe. Wrap it round. Yeah, it might do the trick. Anyway, that's maybe something for another time. I want to get that patch done, and then, yeah, Cat has relinquished that one, so I'm kind of keen to give that a quick tidy up too. And maybe this offcut here might be able to do that. Possibly. Anyway, let's get that done. Well, actually, I'll measure that one up out of this piece here and then just see how much I can get away with. Right, check in soon. So I've just gone for a really small patch. It's going to be interesting because it's got a bit of a transition to go, but kind of hoping. This stuff is actually really quite stretchy. Yes, Cat, I know you want to be fed, but this needs to be done now. As you can see, it does bunch up a little bit there, but of all the things that I have to deal with is a little bit of bunching. I'm kind of happy with that. Doesn't look too bad. It'll do the trick better than a hole. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I found sort of like, yeah, peeling as I go really works quite nicely, but not sure, especially for the bigger bits here. This bit I just tried to free hand, yeah, and also for cutting, just cutting using something like this on the reverse side is a bit easier because that gets held in place as you push it down, slice, yada yada yada. Right. Okay, I'm going to probably call this one done for now. What I'm going to try and do to preserve its relative cleanliness is just stick it in the car, but not bolt it down. Just, at least it's kind of like a bit of a sealed unit in there, and cats cannot sit on them. Anyway, swap it out with the other one. Right, this one seems to have worked pretty well. It was just a touch short, like there's a little bit of sort of threadbare seam that's still exposed. However, you probably maybe just see I've actually laid a strip down like that and then just cut it. On the inside I didn't do a very good job, so it does tend to sort of catch the finger as I run it past. So yeah, I do have one small patch left, I believe. I'll find that in a sec. And I also realized that once I took the tape off this one, there was actually, it was right down to frames. So what I've done is, again, just cut out a bit of foam and stuck it in there. So at least this one's patched up. And that leads me on to, yeah, recreating this maybe. Pull out one of these bits right now. So, would I? Yeah, I don't think I'd actually have enough, really. I think that was really going to be a bit of a pipe dream if I could get that done. But hey, I mean, I've got the foam. I think I've only got 2 more of these left. Yeah, but hey, good for patches anyway. I'll see if I can get something that is, you know, somewhat, I don't know. You can sort of see that that is some of the original colour there, and when you compare it to that, it is actually really pretty close. Anyway,
that's kind of maybe a project for down the road. But for now, this thing needs to be cleaned up, and same kind of process as the other one. And then, that was a bit iffy. Yeah, jam it in the car along with the other one. Should be pretty good. Well, better than they have anyway. Anyway, I actually just remembered something. I remembered I actually had this big roll of, panel of, I don't know, some kind of like leathery type stuff, and it does have like a suede, which is very similar to that. I've got this, which I actually originally wanted to do, just retrim the glove box and door cards on the car. Didn't want to go tacky with like Bride fabric or Recaro or anything like that. I just thought something subtle, plain, I don't know. Still has a touch of class to it. Just to kind of update the interior, because I've still got that random old 80s, I don't even know what it's called, but the cloth in there, it's not great. So that's why I kind of got this stuff. Never got around to it. Yeah, so could potentially make something out of this. Anyway, ooh, flies are doing my head in right now, so I will catch you guys later. My son's due to get up soon anyway, so probably a good time to park this. I'll come back, vacuum this, and take it from there. But, hey, this stuff's a win. I'll leave the link in the description anyway, so if anyone actually wants to go down this track as well, you can find it nice and easy. Cool. See ya.